What's up guys, it's Twitty, hope you're doing well. Today we're back in automation. And in today's video we are going to be building a car. Now I've been sitting on this particular idea for a little bit. And I wanted to see if we can build a hypercar type. Not like the last one I built, which was kind of crazy, the last few vehicles, excuse me. And I thought, let's do one that is a little more, I don't know what's the word for it, a little more affordable, so to speak. Now, price range that I'm looking for is around 1.5 million is where I'm guessing. Or something I can do 300-400 miles an hour. As you can see here, we are selecting our transmission now. A couple of things to note since the update, or in this case the beta. The way you set your transmissions up, your car engines up, your wheels, basically everything from front to back, you can pretty much modify now a little more in depth, meaning your choices of parts are a little more now. Now I am going to oversize these wheel arches just a little bit because I can always go back and fix it if I need to. Okay, why is this? Alright, there we go. Now it's working properly. Now, we are going to be moving on to fixtures and that kind of stuff once we have selected all our base parts, so to speak. Now we're going to make those tires real big out back, and then we're going to move over to our braking system. Brakes is going to be a real interesting one. The reason why I say that is we are going to be using 6-piston calipers front and rear. We're also going to use a beautiful carbon fiber rotor setup, so a carbon ceramic front brakes and rear brakes, as I want it to stop when I stomp on that brake pedal. So yeah, today's video is just going to be the general build of the vehicle, so we're going to run through everything in somewhat detail. I don't want to spend too long on this video, so it's probably going to be like 22-23 minutes, where I'm guessing. But hey, tomorrow's or Tuesday's video is going to be a real special one because we are going to drive this thing in BeamNG. Now as you can see here, we are just finishing up our safety features. I'm going to lighten this vehicle, so optimizing the weight distribution of it. And also we are going to be using the preset sport and race, meaning a combination between the two. So yeah, so far here's the price, so we're at a point where I'm very happy. That's actually not too terrible. We actually came in a wonderful price. That is awesome. Now we are going to cut back on our fenders just a little bit, front and rear, so we can make it look a little more spicy. Now if you've never seen this wonderful side of automation, I do highly recommend you go check out some of my previous videos where you can see the stark difference between this setup here, meaning the beta setup, and what it actually normally looks like. Now, as you can see there, we are just quickly gonna go through on the body movement, so we are setting everything up how I want it to be. I don't want it to be too bulky, I also don't want it to be very flat. I love the curvature of this body. That's my favorite part about this particular car body. Now we're gonna start doing the grills. Now, I've experimented before with different types of grills. I think this one's going to be the best for this particular vehicle. I do not know which shape I'm going to go with, so that's a little textury, the same thing there. So I think I'm just going to go with the normal flat one, make it a little wider, not too much because we need to set our wonderful vents on the corner. So I have messed around with a vehicle I've built off camera, and I can tell you this much, it is quite crazy how much you can do with this game. Look at that. Now that is beautiful. Now a true piece of artwork this car is going to be. So we are going to do lights right around that grille. So everything from the top side to the bottom side and everything in between is going to be lights. I'm going to take you a little bit in depth through how I designed these types of lights. You may have seen some of the vehicles I've built on this channel before, and you might know I like to use LED style lights by the vehicles I've built. And also I enjoy modern technology, but only to a point. I mean, light design hasn't changed too much since the 90s to the early 2000s. Yeah, in some cases it did severely. I mean, look at the hypercars we have today. Those things are crazy. You have the absolute machine, what we call Koenigsegg. I'm just going to turn off the locking feature there. You have your Koenigsegg 1.1, you have the Jesko Absolute, and also you've got the Bugatti Bolide, excuse me, and you have the Chiron, all those crazy cars. Now, what I understand from top speed testing, so to speak, is you want a vehicle that will accelerate decently quickly and also sustain high speed without really flipping. I mean, the cars that I idolized, like the McLaren F1 and the wonderful Koenigsegg Jesko and also the Koenigsegg 1.1, were perfect examples of manufacturers going a little haywire, to be honest. But one thing I've learned very recently actually is the engine that the Koenigsegg uses, meaning according to some reports that I've seen, those engines are based on Ford engines, meaning the Ford modular engine. I've seen some reports come out that there is now. Those reports could be bullcrap, but that truly shows you the craziness of a modular Ford motor. That is crazy. Now, our light situation is starting to become quite a beautiful thing. Now, a couple other things I am gonna go through is we're also gonna do some trickery on the rear, so the rear lights, where the exhaust exits, all that. We are gonna do some trickery there too. Now, these small little lights on the front that we just adjusted, those are gonna be indicators. So your what's the other word for indicator? I can't think now. Anyway, that looks beautiful. We are gonna test it when I'm done. And I do think this is gonna work beautifully. We are gonna put some different type of lights here. I'm just gonna slightly adjust them, as I do not like how this is going. So I think the smaller is sometimes a little better. We're just gonna move that upwards. There we go. So it fits beautifully into the other lights. So that your eyes, when you look at it, when you looked at the thumbnail, that's a beautiful photo by the way. This thing looks crazy. Now we're gonna put our indicators on the inside too of these vents, because the previous test that I did with this type of light situation, you couldn't really see the indicators too good. So that's what I'm gonna be working on now. And those lights are extremely bright. That's why in the thumbnail, when I took the photo, it was in this game's beautiful photo generator, which you can actually check out whenever you get this game. I do recommend building your own vehicles and taking photos of them because they are beautiful. Just gonna go through and select our light type. So I'm gonna be using this wonderful light there's an MD/S glass. That works the best so far. Do let me know down below if you've got a better light situation that I can use. And also while you're down there, comment down below what is your favorite hypercar/supercar. As yeah, I'm really keen to know. So now we're gonna test our lights. As to see, whoa, that looks beautiful. I forgot those lights, didn't I? Yes, I did. Come on, thank you. I'm gonna select that in MD glass. Wow. I'm just also gonna test the indicators really quickly and see what they look like. Yeah, I could get behind that. Wow, that looks good. That looks really good. So next we can move over. When we turn the lights off, we can move to the side or the rear. I think the side is gonna be the easiest for now. And for the sides, I think wheel type is what we're gonna start with. So I like these wheels, they work wonderfully. But I think for what we're gonna be doing today, I think a set of these look good but not perfect. Those look perfect. That's what we were using. So the sides, I am gonna mess around, try and lowering this car a little bit. There we go. Because it's too monster trucky. It looks too high in my opinion. I don't like that. Now we're gonna do some side mockery. Well, in this case we're gonna look for a vent that we can use on the side. So I think let's go to body moldings and see if there is anything I can use. That one looks good, but let's test those, I think. Those are number plates. So now let's test one of these and see how it looks. Those are also number plates. This car doesn't have a number plate because experimental's a thing. So I think let's check what this looks like. Ooh, yeah, I like that. Not that big, just make it a little wider. Okay, let's see what that looks like. I mean, it's not my favorite, looks good but not my favorite. Let's test another one. Let's see this one. How does this look? It looks okay, but it doesn't look perfect. Interesting. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm checking if I can flip it, how that looks. I don't like how this looks, so I'm gonna remove that entirely. I think this one, I don't know. I'm very undecisive on this. This is quite crazy. Let's go to vents again and let's check if we can use this vent. That one. Which one? Yeah, that one. Okay, so I can't use that with this. So I'm just gonna use the vent now. Because quack all that. Okay. Aha, yes, that. Ooh, yes. I like that. It's not too much. It's subtle enough to where you wouldn't really notice it if you didn't look too finely. But it's also enough to make the side of the vehicle appear a little more race car-y. Okay, so the next thing what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be selecting door handles, and I've got a special door handle that I'm going to be using, and that is this one. The reason why this door handle is so special because it's a sleek design with no holes where you can easily get to it, so also air doesn't get to it very easily. So I'm going to place this thing right there in the middle of the door, and now we're going to move over to mirrors. Now I have a hard time choosing mirrors because mirrors have to look perfect on a car, otherwise the whole car doesn't flow the way it needs to flow. Now you might be asking, why do you use mirrors instead of cameras? Well, I like the simplicity of mirrors because you don't need fancy electronics and all that governs that go with it, so that's extra weight. I just like a simple mirror that I can look at. And this is going to be pretty tricky because I want to use that particular mirror, but that particular mirror I'm guessing is not going to look too good on this car. But I'm going to give it a try if it wants to work with me. Come on, just work with me, come on game, don't be square, don't be square. Okay. Well, that didn't go to plan, did it? I don't think it did. But it's fine. Hey, at least we can resort back to these mirrors and they look the best. So, moving on. Because we have our wonderful mirrors now we can move to the rear of the car. Where it's gonna get fun. So, first thing I'm gonna be doing is gonna be attaching a windshield wiper to this thing because I want it to be sort of realistic. Let's see. I don't know if any of these are gonna work. Let's try. Oh dear, that didn't go there. I think my game is broken. Well, let's choose just a normal. Yeah, just a normal one. And I'm gonna do something what race car people do. People who design race cars. We're gonna put the windshield wiper in the center of the windshield. Makes it easier. Just make it a little shorter because I don't need to wipe off the roof with it. Or break the windshield with it. Because that windshield looks like it's gonna be very expensive to replace. Now officially we can get to the rear. So first thing I'm gonna be doing is gonna be attaching some rear lights. So we're gonna do some custom ones. Yeah, that looks good. I think those can be there, give or take. Then we can just use one of the smaller ones and attach it overhead. So it looks more like a light instead of a half of a light. So yeah. Let's see if we can do this. Make it a little longer, go down there. Place it over the top there. That gap that I'm trying to fill here in the corner is sometimes a problem. Because one way you could do it is by how I'm doing it, or the other way is meshing it into the other light, so to speak. But it will overlap whenever you turn the light on, so it's not feasible. So I'm going to use 4 triangles in this box I built essentially. so that I can give somewhat of a resemblance of a light, not too much anyway. Something like that. Just need another one. I think the last one I am gonna try and shrink it just a little bit, because it doesn't fit quite good anyway. We can move this one up just a little bit, leave that one there, because the outer light, meaning the square on the outer, is gonna be a indicator light. This one's gonna be the rear tail light, so the light that you turn on whenever your vehicle's front lights are on or your headlights is on, that one is on at the rear, so people behind you can see whenever your tail light is on, so they don't break your vehicle, run into you, cause an accident. So this last light, I'm gonna make it a reverse light, just because we've got 2 indicators, 2 brake lights, 1 tail light and 1 reverse light. I'm just looking for the reverse light there. That's good. This one's also gonna be an indicator, so I think we use that one. There we go. That looks good. Now let's test it. Yes. Now I'm just gonna shrink this light just a little bit. Bring it up, shrink it. There we go. Madness, I tell you, madness. It'll be fun. Let's just see how it looks. Turn on the brake light, so tail light, excuse me. Brake light on, beautiful. Indicators, after we turn on the reverse light, that looks good. There you go, that looks awesome. Turn those off, that one. Now, we can move on to more of the rear. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be selecting a gas cap. That's where our fuel is going to go into the vehicle. I'm just going to do it over the wheel arch here. That looks good. Next up, we are going to use a diffuser on this vehicle, because yeah, I just think the rear misses a lot of things. So something like a big obnoxious rear diffuser, so to speak, will work beautifully. This one I can't use because I need to do some trickery with that, but no. This one I've used before, that always looks good, so I need to turn snapping back on because this thing is not centered and it's gonna bother my OCD whenever it's not centered. Let's see, turn that on, just move it, there we go, beautiful. That's not too high, doesn't sit too low, so that's perfect. So now we can select our exhausts, which is gonna go overhead. So there, give or take there. Make it looks like a mix between a Celine, a Mustang and a Corvette. And well, a very, very, very fast hypercar. So it looks good now. I think next up we need to try and paint this thing, because paint is always a determining factor on whether a vehicle is beautiful or ugly. Something like that turquoise blue is always a beautiful color. And yes, it's blue, not green, blue. Ooh, rim color. Which way am I gonna go? So I am gonna use chrome for our wonderful rim colors. I just want to see what a incandescent light looks on it. It's always a beautiful color. I've made a vehicle out of that color, so if you want to go check that out, it will be on my channel somewhere. I won't remember. Ooh, that's a beautiful purple, but no, we want red. As the thumbnail dictates, it's red, and it's going to be a orangey yellowy color. Also chrome. There we go. There it is, there it is, it looks beautiful. The rest I'm gonna leave alone. So now we can check out some stats. Don't know why I'm in this menu, because I'm not gonna test this vehicle. So there you have it, 1.48 tons, 2200 horsepower. That's pretty good, but don't leave just yet. I've got a special surprise. We're gonna go back and, well, check our engine out, because I think you guys will like the engine that I built. It's not based on any particular engine. That always looks beautiful to me. And yeah, so let's move over to our engine designer and let's go and see what special surprises I've got hidden there. Green, green, excuse me. Spoiler alert, green. So now we can move back to the engine designer. Come on, Go back, thank you. There we go. So we are going to do a surprise engine pull. So we're going to do two pulls, one looking at the engine, one looking at the graph. So let's see what this beautiful machine sounds like. So there you have it, 2200 horsepower engine going into a 1.4 ton chassis, and get excited for next video. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Do consider to comment, like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you guys, bye bye.